Hi everyone, welcome back. If you don't know me already, my name's Christie and I'm currently 17 weeks pregnant with my second child. I already have a daughter who is 1, her name is Grace, and we are expecting a little sister for her come December this year. We're so excited to be sharing our pregnancy journey on here, so if you're pregnant yourself then congratulations, or even if you just like this type of content, do feel free to follow along and subscribe so that you can see my update every week now until the birth and beyond. And with all that said, let's get into the week 17 update. So this week baby is the size of a pomegranate. She's starting to practice in her breathing with amniotic fluid in and out of her chest, and it's like moving in like a rhythmic motion. And she also has developed like more of her hearing this week, so she'll be able to hear a lot more sounds outside of the womb, probably hear me even a little bit, maybe even Grace running about, which would be really lovely. And I'm hoping obviously as she continues to hear more of us that will become like more familiar to her, so that by the time she is born she's already like comforted by the sound of our voice. I remember when Grace was born that she came out like completely screaming, which is actually amazing in hindsight because it's really like reassuring. Not all babies do cry straight away, and that's not actually anything to worry about. But she came out screaming, she made her presence known, and as soon as my husband Steve started talking to her, she calmed down like straight away, and it was almost like she recognised his voice. So that was really, really lovely, and hopefully this baby will get to know our voices now. In terms of symptoms this week, the main thing that I've started to notice is that I've become really like veiny all over my body. Like even if I look at my wrist, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, like how dark and blue my veins are. So I've noticed that like all over my body, and yeah, it's becoming like I need to fake tan to try and mask it in some way. I've also this week a not so great symptom that I've been having, and more along, I know I try and give a mental health update every week, but along that train of thought I've had some like quite intrusive thoughts, I guess, like really scary, anxious thoughts about the baby and about her safety and her health. And I have them like in relation to Grace as well, and I just like have horrible fears of like freak accidents and stuff. So that's part of it. It's partly like baby and child related, but also I've noticed I'm letting myself think things about me that I usually would be able to bat away a lot easier than I am at the moment. So I've just started to feel a little bit like frumpy and a bit big and uncomfortable, and just not really like very confident in myself, which is really difficult, I think, for any pregnant woman, because your body changes so much, and you're kind of told that you have to appreciate the changes that your body is going through. But with it being my second pregnancy as well, I'm noticing that my body's a lot more elastic and growing a lot quicker and changing a lot faster. So it's come as a bit of a shock, and I'm trying to still appreciate the fact that my body is growing life, but also I mourn for the body that I had before I even had Grace. So like even in between my pregnancies I was quite body confident, but now I'm like, oh, when I was like 19 I was so naturally thin and I didn't have to watch what I ate, and when I'm like having bad meals now I like feel really bad about it. So I'm hoping that's just a symptom of all the hormones like rushing around in my body, and that does actually alleviate, because it's really quite unpleasant. I'm also very conscious with having a daughter already and having another girl this time around that I don't want to perpetuate that thought in them, that people like notice their body, or their body is something that they need to be concerned with, or it needs to look a certain way. So I really want to try and work on that in myself. This has kind of triggered it, but I guess like most women really, I do have body hang-ups, and it's something that I want to work on for them, that I want to be better at kind of stopping those intrusive thoughts from happening, and making sure that I do display that I am body confident, and everybody's different and everybody can be appreciated for the differences that they have. So that's something that I really need to work on. I don't know whether like just having a bit of a purge of my Instagram would help. But also I do follow a lot of pregnant pages, and it's really nice to see other women with their bumps and think, actually, yeah, we're all doing this together and all of our bodies change a lot. And there's definitely been a move, I think, in the last couple of years even towards showing more of the reality of postpartum. So I'm going to try and throw myself into that content as well, so that I can really prepare myself for what my body's likely to look like after I've had the baby this time, as well as obviously last time. But I think I probably snapped back quicker with my first than I probably will with this one. So I want to be prepared for what that might look like for me, and in that moment just be able to appreciate everything that my body's done and not be so concerned with what it actually looks like. I swear this was one of the worst things that I had with Grace, and it's back this week. I mean, it's been building up over the last few weeks, but this week it's back with a vengeance, and that is indigestion and heartburn. So I've got the Gaviscon back out, and I find that using it preventatively, so having it like straight after I've eaten, is helping. But I just feel really like full of air and like uncomfortable after I've eaten, and it doesn't really make a difference what I eat. Some things worse than others, but I don't find that any food is agreeing with me at the moment. So that's really quite unpleasant. I have done a little bit of reading on this to try and like find a bit of a remedy, not so much a cure, because I don't think I can cure it, and I think it's probably only going to get worse. But what I can do to kind of manage those symptoms, so as well as like having Gaviscon and stuff on hand, trying not to eat rich foods or like spicy foods, trying not to drink caffeinated drinks, which I don't really anyway, or carbonated drinks is a little bit more difficult for me because I do like caffeine-free Diet Coke. So I need to move more towards drinking a lot more water and a lot more squash when I'm like fancying something sweet, and also trying to eat more smaller meals throughout the day. So I'm trying to move to eating 6 smaller meals. And I'm terrible for eating. I will literally not eat all morning and then get to like 2 o'clock and have an enormous lunch, like a hot lunch. I'm like my nan and granddad, they have like their dinner at like lunchtime, and that's what I'd like, is to have like a nice big dinner. But then I'm finding between lunchtime and dinner time, feeling sluggish. It's harder to run around after Grace. She's probably in like her witching hour just before she goes to bed as well. But also then I've got like this really like burpy, windy feeling. So hopefully by eating like more small meals throughout the day, I can like manage that a little bit better. And I also want to just watch what I'm eating a little bit more closely as well, not for any diet purposes in terms of like losing weight or watching my weight, but just specifically so that I can manage the symptoms of indigestion. Still a bit bunged up this week, if you can hear that, and it gets worse when I talk a lot, so obviously not the best thing to be doing right now. But let me show you my bump for week 17. This top, by the way, is from the El Derby maternity range, which was in the sale this week in the style. So head over there, it might still be in the sale, but some of the sizes had run out. But it comes as like a top and a pair of shorts. But I'm going out in a little while, and it's not it's like to a picnic, but it's outside and it's not great weather today, so I thought I'd wear it with leggings. I'm trying to like expand my maternity wardrobe so that I don't have those feelings of like frumpiness quite as much, because I think part of it is that a lot of my wardrobe suits my pre-baby body and doesn't actually, one, fit me, and B, suit a pregnant body. So trying to buy clothes that actually fit and flatter me now is helping with like that self-esteem issue. More generally then, we've started to buy a few bits for the baby this week. Like I've been buying clothes all along, but this week we've started to make more of the investments of things that we need. So the main thing is that we've bought a buggy board to attach to our yo-yo stroller, our Baby Zen yo-yo, which I love, which is like our compact, like just pop into the shops stroller. We do have a travel system, which is the Silver Cross Wave, and it converts to a tandem from the box, which is part of the reason that we bought it, just in case we did have too close together in age, and guess what, we did. So that will carry baby and Grace together, but it's quite a big travel system. It's very heavy, it's very cumbersome. It's almost like a shopping centre pram. Like, I don't think it'd do very well like on more rough terrain, and also just like getting it in and out of the car would be a bit of a nightmare if I was just popping into the petrol station or whatever. So we've got a buggy board to attach onto the back of the yo-yo stroller, and we'll also get the newborn pack for that. And that can also be folded down then to cabin size. So if we do get to travel like next year like we're planning to, then we will be able to take that with us as our main stroller, and Grace can stand or sit on the buggy board on the back. It's got like a little it's like a little bike saddle on the back as well, so she can either stand or sit on it depending on how she's feeling. But we did try it out in the shops, and she was quite keen and didn't want to get off and cried when we tried to get her off. So I'm hoping that that will be a success. I've also bought a few of the Mam anti-colic bottles, but in the Colours of Nature pack, which is like the matte pink, because we just have like the standard pink ones, but I really like the look of the matte ones. And they do say that you should replace the teats of your bottles at least. So I'm going to get a few more teats as well. And then just generally things that I don't feel we bought enough of with Grace was like newborn sensory toys. So I've started to invest in a few of those as well. That's it for my week 17 update. If you want to follow along my pregnancy journey, then please do subscribe and like and comment below to let me know that you've enjoyed it. I will be back next week to update you on week 18, and I'll also try and give you a bit of an update on the nursery and room situation then as well. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.